For USA Radio News, I'm Katie Lewis.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
This is not America. Sha-la-la-la-la. Little piece of you. A little piece in me.
Welcome to Talking Truth to Power, America's Freedom Talk Radio. I'm your host, Brendan Trainer, and I'm here with my co-host, Leland Faegre, and we have Shanimal Lawson working on the board for us today.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Well, we had the elections last night.
174 days until the general election.
Okay. Yes. It'll be an extinction event for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
So Trump supporter and so-called election denier Mastriano wins the Pennsylvania governor primary.
The election denier part was the part that got my attention because I never heard him say that he was denying that there was an election. But that works for Politico, so
Yes, it
that's
does.
it's good. It's humor for us.
So Dr. Oz's bid to become the first Muslim in the Senate is possibly going to happen, although right now the margin of victory is less than 0.5%, which will trigger the mandatory recount.
Statutory recount, yeah.
Yeah.
Does the squad know this?
I don't know about him being Muslim.
Yeah.
Well, the squad, we're going to talk about the squad. They were absent without leave over the last week. And then, unfortunately, we had the tragedy in Buffalo, the supermarket shooting. It was straight out of I Was a Teenage Anarcho-Communist White Supremacist Insane Mass Murderer playbook. We had that playbook.
There is a playbook, yeah. Well, this was his own playbook, apparently. But it was very similar. Different version, but same basic premise.
Did we ever talk
Replacement.
about Sailor's Law on the show?
I don't think so.
He's a columnist for Un's Review and Tacky Magazine, etc. But his basic law is, and he's a statistician, he looked this up. If a mass shooting kills more victims than it wounds, the perpetrator was nearly always white.
Oh, okay.
If a mass shooting wounds many more people than it kills, the perpetrator is nearly always non-white.
So that's the algorithm.
Yeah, that's the.
It always works that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
It worked again in Buffalo. We had 3 or 4, mass shootings of 4 or more people, and
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the one where more people died than were wounded was done by this young crazy person. We shouldn't really mention his name; it's not relevant. But
Yeah. I'd rather not talk about it at all, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But it does.
well, we have to talk about it because of the political ramifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Biden visited Buffalo, but he never visited Waukegan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So he had scheduling conflicts.
There's no
back
political value in showing up to.
then. No. So was this a failure of a racist society? Because that's what the Democrats are going to be talking about.
Oh, that's their
constantly.
only point going into the
Yes.
elections.
Republicans are racist,
Mhm.
and the Republicans will counter with Putin is Hitler.
What am I doing here?
And that too.
Yeah. So was it a racist society, or was it a complete police, mental health, public schools,
I think
parental failure?
I think you have to blame firstly the public schools.
Yeah.
Whether it was his parents, who, by the way, are conspicuously absent in the aftermath of this event. And wouldn't they be on, highlighted in media and
Yeah.
discussed at great length if there
Yeah.
was?
We're so sorry, blah, blah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
the mother, the story is, now I don't know if it's confirmed, but the story is that this young man tortured and killed a cat, cut off its head, and the mother covered it up and helped him bury the animal.
I don't know how you could possibly do that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you
It's
should know,
inexplicable.
yeah, killing animals is the first step towards
Oh, yeah.
a mass
If,
murderer.
if you're
you know?
desensitized to life and death like that, it's not a good sign.
No, not at all. That's how Jeffrey Dahmer got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many others too. I guess, and then there's a question of how he got the gun. We don't know that yet. He came to school in a hazmat suit for an entire week.
Mm-hmm.
He spent 20 hours in a mental institution.
That was another sign
Yeah.
that was missed on just about everybody.
So with that, he obviously couldn't fill out a gun form truthfully anyway. If
Right.
he spent 20 hours and committed,
It was preparation, clearly.
yes.
That's what he
Uh-huh.
was doing. There's always a reason, even if it's not clear,
Mhm.
why people do the things they do.
Yep. Numerous writings besides this so-called manifesto, which was all over the place. I didn't read it, but it was all over the place, I understand. So it's going to be another tragedy exploited by the political class for their own ends.
It's all they have
Yeah.
going into the political season,
Right.
because we're there now, 174 days. Did I mention that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you did at the
That's
beginning of the show. Yeah, so till the great replacement of Democrats by Republicans.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's what they're
Because
going
that originated on their side of the aisle.
Yeah,
that
that's-
replacement theory.
Yeah. That's what they're going to push. Republicans are racist. They believe in the great replacement theory. And then Tucker went out and just played clips of them.
Mhm.
I mean, ever since Biden got elected, they've been talking about in 40 years, whites will be a minority in America. They've
The open
talked-
border.
Yeah, they've talked. That's part of the how. That's how they're going to get there. But,
And this is
yeah.
when we bring in Hillary to the conversation, because back in 2015, she was in Brazil and made that very declaratory statement about opening up the hemisphere without borders,
Mhm.
with a common currency, just like Europe. So that's the model. Europe is the model, and they want to instill it in the Americas.
And
It's really simple.
Europe is falling in line to go along with it right now.
The good news is that the Biden administration has halted the Ministry of Truth after just 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Best CNN Plus.
Are you shy or don't want to talk on air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now, back to the show.
Well, hey, Leland, when is
Yes, Brett.
surrender not a surrender?
I don't know. Tell me.
When it's called an evacuation.
I see.
Can't use the word surrender.
The establishment propaganda media is really having fun with this, aren't they?
Yeah.
How can we describe it in some other way than it actually is? That's what they're doing. They're going out of their way to describe it.
This is CNN.
And speaking of CNN, they've given Chris Wallace a Sunday evening show. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
After CNN Plus collapsed. So
So CNN International wrote, Ukrainian forces say they have ended their combat mission
yeah,
and besieged Mariupol as hundreds are evacuated from the
Uh-huh.
Azovstal steel plant.
I don't have anything new for you on that, and we'll circle back with you directly. I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
I'll bet you Putin has something new on that.
And Reuters, Ukraine's military says it's working to evacuate all remaining troops, ceding the control to Russia.
I think they're all out of there now. What I saw.
They've gotten at least 900 to 1,200
1,000. I heard 1,000. Yeah. something
Yeah,
like that.
I thought there was a little bit more. We'll see.
They were evacuated.
Yeah, they were all being evacuated. right to right to prison and interrogation in Moscow and POW camps. That's where they're being evacuated to. They are getting the first 50 were wounded. They're getting medical attention, but now they're going to vet the rest of them. There are probably a bunch of Ukrainian Marines, ordinary soldiers there. They will probably be sent to a POW camp to see if there's going to be prisoner exchanges, or some of them, they might even sign a paper and leave. I don't know. But anyway.
Can you imagine what it's like inside that place?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Then they're going to, first thing they're going to do is have them, the rest of them take off. They're going to vet them by, first they take off their clothes and they see how many Nazi tattoos they have on them.
Right. So aeration rather than bathing.
Yes, exactly. And those that are full of Nazi tattoos will be further vetted, and pictures will be matched up to databases, because don't think over these 8 years, the people in Donetsk and Luhansk haven't been keeping notes about who's been doing what to them. So, and Russian intelligence, no doubt, knows a lot of these people. So, and those that are in the database are going to be, we're going to see political tribunals or war tribunals probably in the fall. Now, whether we'll see him here in America, I don't know, but you can bet that Russia, China, and the whole global South, Africa, Southeast Asia, South Latin America, they're all going to have an opportunity to see him and find out what these people have been up to. And then we also have to see how many foreign troops were down there. I understand.
Mercenaries, you mean?
Mercenaries. Some of them might be what they're calling high office retired NATO and American possibly figures, retired military and diplomatic figures. And we're just going to have to wait and see. There's all kinds of rumors going on about who is hiding out down there, but we know that Turkey and France were begging Russia to evacuate them before this happened, to really evacuate them and let them out.
Well, that $40 billion package that was approved.
Yeah, it was approved today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah. Virtually assures a proxy war for some time. They'll just throw money at it, That's all.
Even Scott Ritter sounded a little worried. He said, if all of this money is being sent there, there's a possibility Russia would have to mobilize more troops. Right now, they're doing a real good job with the 200,000 that they sent in.
Yeah.
But, the whole Ukraine is just doing photo ops. I mean, the Ukrainian government is one big media production.
It is. Because that's what he knows.
Yeah,
that's what Zelensky knows.
Yeah. The green T-shirt.
Yeah.
And the fatigues, they're selling.
Looks
on
like
eBay.
Castro.
Yeah. Did you know Zelensky is Greenberg in Russian?
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, but that's just a coincidence. Pay no attention to that. The European Union is committing economic suicide. You have these 30-something leaders in female leaders in Sweden, Finland, and Germany, who frankly are in over their heads. They have no idea what they're doing by getting Finland and Sweden into NATO. Now, the thing is, Putin said he's kind of okay with it as long as they don't put any missiles in there. But how long is that going to be before they start talking about putting missiles in Sweden and Finland? But
well, one of those that you described was Germany's foreign minister, Baerbock.
Baerbock.
And she's blaming Russia for causing the brutal hunger that has been created by EU sanctions, actually, instead of Russian agriculture. So,
I think she's green.
They all are. That's what it is. So.
Social Democrats on the left, that means center left, and then Green Party.
That's where most everyone in the European zone are. That's
Yeah.
how they think.
Angela Merkel was center right. She was Christian Democrat. If you're Christian Democrat, you're supposed to be like the Republicans. If you're Social Democrat, you're like and then you have the Greens on their side. So,
Well, she's morphed a few times in the course of her upbringing.
Yeah.
Because you had a fascist constituency in the region for many, many years, and it just sort of dissolved comfortably. There was no blood spilled or anything, but it's different now. That's where the inclination to control has gone, is to the Social Democrats, and it sounds nicer. Let's be honest; it just sounds better.
So Baerbock used to be Germany's Minister of Defense, and when she was in there, the German army trained with broomsticks instead of rifles.
Yep, that's also true.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
A NATO ally training with broomsticks.
Well, it's not so hard to ally because that's if they join. Well, anybody in the Senate has to approve it with
It'll
the
be us.
2/3 vote.
It'll be us. That's what they're embracing.
that's
They're
it.
embracing us.
That's right.
It's not about Finland or Sweden or anybody else in the NATO
No.
alliance. It's about us.
They're rushing to be under our nuclear umbrella, and they're willing to give up their neutrality and the prosperity they've had, possibly as a neutral country, to join in on the Russophobia.
Mhm.
And the Prime Minister of Finland, Marin, she's like 36 years old. She misses government messages because she's out night clubbing a couple of nights a week.
Yeah. Because that's really important too.
Yeah. These are not serious countries.
No, you can't take them seriously.
No. What this Russia's has 800 miles on the Arctic Ocean, on the Arctic Circle, and they are exploiting the Arctic resources. They have these giant nuclear icebreakers, and with global warming, they're thinking that they can make it into a Northwest Passage or a Northern Passage from east to west, save thousands of miles. So America, that's why Trump wanted to buy Greenland. America wants more of all we have is
foothold.
Alaska. Yeah, we want more of a footprint up there. And now, since Sweden and Norway always was NATO, and now Sweden and Finland, if they join, then America will have a larger Arctic footprint de facto because of our involvement with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that they will do our bidding. But Erdogan, president of Turkey, he might say
doesn't
no.
want anything of it.
No. He
You want to do what?
Well, he wants Sweden, especially Sweden and Finland, to denounce
He says
Kurds operating in their country, independence movements. He wants them to label them as a terrorist organization. And then with the U.S., he's going to keep those Russian S-400 defenses. You can't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wants all the spare parts he needs for the F-35s he has. And he wants to buy a bunch of more F-16s from America. So he wants to get in primo good status as far as getting weapons from both Russia and America. And he's probably going to get it because it would be a big, big embarrassment if they pull out and don't join.
Well, the key word there is American, because Eisenhower put it very succinctly in 1951 when he said, if in 10 years all American troops stationed in Europe for national defense purposes have not been returned to the United States, then this whole project will have failed.
Exactly.
And we often quote that on this program because now you see what has happened is a strengthening of our dependency to these foreign states,
Exactly.
which is part of the global design.
Will any senators get up and say that?
Rand Paul will.
Possibly, hopefully.
Yep.
But the thing is, I mean, what does it benefit us to have these Scandinavian states in NATO? We're just going to have to guarantee their security. What are they going to guarantee it for us?
Well, I'm just flummoxed by that question.
call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Talking Truth to Power. And we had a Marjorie Taylor Greene appearance this last week. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I saw it, actually.
Yeah.
I think I saw the clip.
And she gave a rousing speech in the House against the $40 billion being sent. Biden only asked for $33 billion.
They gave him more than he wanted.
Yeah, they gave him $40 billion. My goodness.
That's 1% of our national
debt
every year.
Okay. It's
That's a lot of money.
It's a couch change. You find that under the pillows. You know?
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah. So she repeatedly,
and of course, the economy has gone from one on the mend to one that's on the move. We're getting closer to recession with every day. So I don't know what they're thinking, and that's why Rand Paul, put his foot in the door and said, "This is not right.
No,
we shouldn't be doing this." So.
Not you know the thing.
Not as Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Not when American mothers don't have formula.
Yeah.
So that's another government-created boondoggle.
Yep. And can you ask for a better problem for Biden to have going into the elections? I mean, even people who are disaffected by politics and have tuned out are going to hear about this if they have a child on the way.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to remember that at the voting booth.
You got to have that soy milk and other gooey stuff that the kids need.
And it's not just that. I mean, you got Yellen describing abortion as being good for the economy.
She did?
Yeah. The more fetuses
you kill, what? You burn them?
Improves.
How do you replace oil?
I don't think she was asked to explain. You don't ask Janet Yellen to explain anything. Former Fed chairman and now Secretary of the Treasury. She has her own stature,
By sheer coincidence, she happens to be Jewish.
And happens to be Jewish.
Yeah. So Marjorie Taylor Greene was fantastic, but where were the anti-war Democrats? Nowhere to be found. Not a single squad member voted against the $40 billion.
Are there any left?
They still call themselves a squad.
We're aging ourselves.
Yeah.
Imagine had the tobacco industry been immune to prostitute being sued.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that. And
what else he said about the economy? I love this one. You could see some slowing. Projecting out.
Yeah.
You could see some slowing.
Bernie Sanders did not join Rand Paul in trying to hold up the aid to Ukraine. Neither did Ron Wyden. None of the squad, like I said. 57 Republicans. Chip Roy was front and center a lot from Texas. Mm-hmm. He's been out there.
Yes, he has.
And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was answered by none other than Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Israel, who responded by smearing her as, I guess a Putin puppet. That's what it is. Also, Zyoclops.
Ultra MAGA.
They spent 6 months dreaming up that slogan, and it is biting them in the butt.
Oh, they don't know how to get out of their own way. It's really something. They've described us now as existential threats.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they don't have anything else.
No.
We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what.
So Jamie called her a Putin puppet, and Zyoclops, Dan Crenshaw from the Republicans, he told MTG that we should not miss a chance to degrade our adversary's military. I think Mitt Romney is going to introduce a bill that will pay bounties for every dead Russian soldier killed in the Ukraine.
Sounds like something that would come from him.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Oh, yes.
Well, the good news is I think we forced their hands
Exactly.
to behave this way.
Yes.
So we are being more aggressive than the old right was, the old Republican Party.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. We have a few firebrands. I just wish.
And you know, Trump's record is fabulous. He's got 81 wins in primaries so far, 3 losses, and 1 to be determined. That's the Pennsylvania Senate race with Oz and McCormick. So, I mean, that's talk about a good record. I mean, that's almost 1,000 right there.
Yeah, let's hope they're all really Trumpsters and they're not.
Well, I think that
playing on
is
his
what
name.
it is. I think that's exactly what has changed. Is they are transformational candidates that we won't go back to the Mitch McConnell league of actors that played into the hands of Democrat design, whatever Democrat means these days.
So, Special Prosecutor Bull, in quotes, Durham, appeared in public as the trial of Attorney Sussman begins.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Yes.
Really neat. Yeah.
So far, they've been mostly preliminary pre-trial discussions.
Elias goes on the stand today, though.
Yes. Elias goes on the stand today.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
Because he didn't think he'd find himself there. None of them did, because they thought she was going to win. That was the whole deal.
Uh-huh.
You know that Sussman was a former federal prosecutor?
I'm not all completely aware of his bio yet.
Yeah, because I mean, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Now he's on the witness stand.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, I think it is. The universe.
Part of his downfall was he couldn't help billing the DNC for these conspiratorial meetings that he held with them,
and charging them for it.
Yeah, exactly. Billing them and charging them
So
for it.
this is the crime.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah. And you see the line that connects the dots here will take it to McCabe, and all these guys, all these actors will have to speak if they don't want. If otherwise they go to jail, and if they start talking, they'll start chewing each other up, and we got ourselves a real story.
Yep. Yeah, just in time for the leading up to the election. This looks better every day.
And it will offset the January 6th committee's findings
Right.
and all that, which is nonsense. By that way, that Mastriano was there on January 6th. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's great interference for us,
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see any of that stuff. That's, he's our best defense. And he's hardened, he's ready to take these people on.
He should know where some of the bodies are buried as far as the Pennsylvania election.
Undoubtedly. Yeah.
Yeah. We can have another political theater to look forward to.
And I don't see any more votes coming in from Pennsylvania yet
since
last night. Just the 2,600 that were counted late and added to
Oz's
total.
Going to be some. There's going to be some. What do you call mail-in ballots?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the next sequence, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what about the movement to change our culture from free speech to abundant, equitable speech?
Well, I feel pretty good about things because Nina Jankowicz has submitted her resignation letter.
Yeah, she's not going to be our disinformation czar.
She claims her work at the Ministry of Truth is vital and necessary, but she's submitted her resignation. I mean, these people are sitting around in their underwear and bow ties and trying to come up with it. Who did they think this was going to work for? The younger crowd? Was that supposed to appeal to the very young?
The censorship liberals, the blue check liberals,
kids,
the corporate liberals,
poorly educated kids, basically.
Yeah. The people the executives at Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, same.
Says Elon Musk is having a problem with buying Twitter because he says that they are hiding the truth about how many phony accounts are on there. And
I
how
don't
many
think
are real.
I don't think he's having a problem. I think this is brilliant.
Yeah, he's got the backup again.
Absolutely brilliant. He's got him exactly where he wants him.
And then Project Veritas has a Google executive saying that Elon Musk has mental problems. He has Asperger's, and that Twitter is going to save the planet. It's not going to promote free speech. Our job
is
to
effing
save the
communist.
Planet. Yeah.
He's not telling us anything we didn't already know. How low does your political IQ have to be before you recognize that? I don't know. Time's up.
So Shovel Face is gone. Now we have the cute lipstick lesbian Jean Pierre.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Karine Jean Pierre.
Yeah.
You know, she gets scissored all the time by the older CNN reporter Suzanne Malveaux. That's her husband.
That's her significant other.
Her significant
other. Are they married?
I think they are. Oh, wait a minute. It just says partner, so maybe they're not. Yeah. They just described as partner. Yeah. But, you know, you can't criticize her performance. She had a shaky performance. She had a bunch of word salad answers to specific questions that didn't make any sense.
As it came to the subject of inflation. Yeah. Oh, man, did she struggle through that. That was hard to listen to. It's amazing they can get it in at all, you know.
But if you criticize her performance, then you're a racist and a homophobe, two at once.
Yeah.
See how they got this thing locked up?
Yep.
Except, you know, they don't. The American people aren't going to buy it. Netflix became the first major platform to break from the woke mob.
And had to lay off 150 of their employees.
Yeah.
Boy, did that happen fast.
If you get triggered by your production that you're working on, maybe you shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Wow.
Of our segments on Jews in the news, and I guess we better go back to the original ADL disclaimer here.
The original one?
Yeah. Okay. We have to assert that Israel is our only greatest ally in the Middle East and the only democracy in the Middle East, despite the fact that Lebanon had elections. And
we don't count that.
And they don't throw gay people over.
No, they don't.
No. And every time we observe Jews behaving badly, we must admit each and every time it's always our fault. Okay. So, the country of Israel was in the news because of the murder, the sniper shooting of an American Palestinian Christian journalist, worked for Al Jazeera. Her name was Sharia Abu Akleh. Now, she was hit with a single shot to the head, and Israel, of course, they'll investigate it, but it must have been some crazy Arab.
Palestinian-led.
Yeah. We had nothing to do with it. And, you know, we don't know whether it's a coincidence that it looks like a sniper shot, but we'll just have to see. Hopefully there will be a more independent investigation.
Well, she probably made herself known.
Yeah.
By her presence.
Yeah, but she had the flak jacket, said press, she had a helmet.
That's like a target. It could be a target.
For some of these people over there, it is a target, yes. So she was covering the latest round of settler land seizures in Behem, in the West Bank, which many of the Palestinians were demonstrating against. And I've seen some videos of it, and it's pretty brutal. They just start putting fences around people's homes, and the next thing you know, the people are evicted and out on the street, and they have some kind of court order saying it's all kosher. So that's what's going on there.
It's the power of the courts.
Yes. When will the West wake up and start treating Israel like any other country? I don't know. I mean,
Well, the good news is we sent Kamala to the region this week.
oh, did we send Kamala?
Yeah.
Are we working together with Kamala?
she spent 3 weeks there, or 3 hours there.
3 hours
Yeah.
there?
But if
Well, that's enough to put together a working group.
yeah, and if we work together, these
Which is
things-
why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work
together.
operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will
Together.
convene to work together on
Uh-huh.
to galvanize global action. With that, I thank you all. This is a matter of urgent priority for all of us, and I know we will work on this together.
So there you go.
Are we going to individually work on this?
No, a lot of people make that mistake. We'll work together on this, not individually. A lot of people make that mistake, though. Well, I'll tell you this administration is good for humor, isn't it? It's you can't ask for more humor from an administration than this one.
And the left is so humorless. They never get the humor in
They don't.
this.
Yeah, they don't really get it. Good thing we do, though.
Yes, we do.
You're on Talking Truth to Power.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You're excused.
So the replacement theory is been in the news, and we're going to have a lot of discussion about it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to hear a lot about that.
Yeah. And of course, I heard the libertarian commentator Robbie Suave say that there is no cabal of anybody, including the Jews, bringing across, but in my opinion, the whole 25 million Jewish population is basically the cabal, because that's what they want. They want, and they organize and they get it done. I mean, there's videotapes of
by working together.
Yeah,
By lion, dog, face, pony soldier.
In Sweden, there's a videotape on YouTube of the leading Jewish immigration group, and she says the Jews can take complete credit for the mass immigration of so many Muslims into Europe.
Can they?
It's their program.
I see.
Why are they, every Jew in the world except Stephen Miller with the former Trump? Why are they so adamant about this? And the reason goes back to their extreme paranoia and their extreme self-centeredness, frankly, that sociological studies have shown over and over again that the Jewish people are a thing. It's not ridiculous to talk about it as a thing, and they have the highest self-regard of any ethnic group for themselves, and the lowest regard for other people outside of their group.
Is it megalomaniacal or is it narcissistic?
It's a combination, I guess, of all of it. And they believe that in order to achieve their destiny, which is some version of the Messiah and dominance over the world and a benign hegemony over everybody, or whatever they imagine it is, that the majority population, and I'm talking primarily about Christian because that's the Jews have been primarily present in Western Europe and America and, the Western civilization. They have to be, broken up. You can't have too many, frankly, you can't have too many white people or the Jews get nervous.
You can't?
No, you can't.
Okay.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
So it's not okay to be white then, apparently.
Well, that's the funny thing, because the Jewish people are considered white, they're considered Caucasian, but they're, you know, so are the Arabs, but the Semites are not, they're not a part of European white culture, in any great degree. They have totally different way of looking at how they organize their family structure and society and everything else, compared to Western European and American original values. So it's
complicated.
It's complicated, and I don't know. We can't explain it all in a 15-minute segment, but we're going to be hearing quite a bit about it. And the thing is, the people that are most knowledgeable about the situation, the people that that are commonly called the alt-right, you're not going to hear their voice at all in the mainstream debate. You're not going to have any kind of reasonable person that works for,
except as existential threats.
Yeah, except as an existential threat.
That's what we are now to them.
So if you can't bring these ideas forward and clarify them and debate them, then they're going to simmer into a bunch of lower level, accusations and stereotypes that people are going to be throwing at each other for the next 6 months. It's probably not going to be pretty, but we do need some kind of debate over immigration. I mean,
do we ever?
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, some kind of realistic.
But we won't have one because they want a borderless America.
Exactly. That's what they want.
Shut up.
It may be too late, already, and the thing is that you don't have to be a white supremacist. You really don't, to think that it's a shame that so many young white people are being turned against their race with all this critical race theory and all this other stuff. And, to think that it is racist to accuse white people in general of what they were just a part of history over, really. And white civilization has a lot to go for it. It has a lot of good aspects to it, but you're not going to hear about that from the left. And the thing is, the Republican Party does not have a stellar record of standing up for this either.
No.
We choose truth over facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know how many. Steve Miller says there aren't very many Bush Republicans left. I hope he's right, but we're going to see.
Well, we're going to see in Georgia next week.
Yeah. Hannah Navarro is stepping down from The View. Now that's world shaking.
Yeah. Is there any? Oh, gosh. I go out of my way not to even mention that program.
Yeah. But she's a Busher that's no longer going to be in the prominently with us. So all I can say is it's going to be an interesting few months as we proceed. Tucker Carlson, of course, is the lightning rod, and he's not backing down.
No, he's not.
He threw the Democratic rhetoric where they're talking about this very thing and saying it's a good thing. He's throwing it in their face. What do you mean there's no great replacement theory? You guys talk about it all the time.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. But the good news is that Congress is holding hearings on UFOs.
Okay.
So that'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
right there.
I'm sure they'll
we'll work
figure
together.
it out. Yeah.